Hello guys, so today I'm going to start a CSS tutorial. This will be the first recording for the CSS class. In here, right, you can see my GitHub profile as I explained in the previous video in HTML tutorial, right? So it will be not in much details, right? But I will cover the important topics because I have already teach you guys step by step process of css, all the properties, and but still in css we will be doing a lot of important work, okay, or practice, right? So let's go to the css here, and mostly all this content I'm following from w3 school, okay, so please check that out, right? W3 schools css, okay, I mean, let's go to the w3 schools in the css tutorial, okay. So we will be checking here, for the information. I don't want to, like copy and create everything here, right? I'll just add something important, but it's okay. All right. So what is CSS now? CSS introductions. CSS is the language we use to style a web page. Means to style or to give some styling or to give basically the beautification, right, of our web page. So stands for CSS stand for cascading style sheet. Yeah. CSS describes how HTML elements are to be displayed on screen, paper, or in other media, right? Means you can use CSS to lay out your page, right? Which will be perfectly displayed in the screen, paper, or in any media, right? When you printing also, you can add certain properties, right, to make sure it is, in the printer paper size and all that. And different other media means like for mobile, responsive, tablet, tab, right? It's a large screen, TV, monitor, whatever, okay. So CSS shapes means CSS shapes a lot of work, right? It can control the layout of multiple web page all at once. So you can have one CSS file, and then the same file will control the styling for most of the page. I mean, you can use the same style for, you know all the page, right? But not same style. Maybe you're gonna have a lot of style inside the same page, which will be controlling all your HTML pages, right? So syntax. So you have selector. So we will learn different kind of selection, different way of selecting. Okay. So right now is h1 element. Okay, this is the element name called h1. You're gonna have paragraph element. You're gonna have a list item, ul, a tag, image, img tag. So any HTML element you can use to select, okay, the element, right? So here is the color orange, text align center. So property and the value, see that? Property and the value. So now you need what? You need selector, then curly bracket, property, colon, value. So we will be learning all different kind of property of CSS, okay? So I said, if you remember this and you remember which HTML element you want to style, you can figure out, right? So let's look at the CSS selector here. So ID selector, important, right? ID selector. CSS selectors are used to find or select HTML element you want to style, right? So ID selector, you just have to give a attribute ID. So we talk about attribute, right, in the HTML. So I will explain the code later, okay, but let me go through this quickly, and then we will just do the practice, right, in our VS Code editor. So ID. So ID, if you have ID attribute, right, then hashtag, or we call it pound, whatever the ID name, right, and then curly bracket again. So the way we use here element name, the same element maybe have a ID para 1, right? Let's say this is a paragraph, had an ID of para 1. So then basically you are selecting that individual paragraph only, or whatever the ID you have selected, right? So ID will be applied individually to each element if you want, right? So that in giving the separate, I mean, ID, right, you will be able to style it differently, means all the style will be unique. Okay. CSS, same way. You have a CSS attribute. Basically you have an attribute with class and then the name of the attribute, right? Let's say this is center, text align center, color red. Okay, so now when you have a center class, usually start with dot. So basically remember, center will start with dot. Okay. Asterisk now, asterisk selector. This is a universal selector, right? Universal selector. Text align center, color blue, asterisk. So we learn what ID, class, and also we know this name of element, right? Element selector. So in ID, class, and then universal. There are in a group, right? Let's say this style is same for many element. Text align center, color red, or H1, H2 paragraph. So you can, just combine all this in one place, right? By giving just comma, H1, H2 paragraph, means H1 comma, H2 comma paragraph, and text align center, color red. Okay. Just this is an example. Okay. Element, HTML element selector, multiple, right? The way we did here, H1, H2 paragraph. Descendant means the paragraph of the div. Okay, maybe paragraph of the class name, right? So let's say class will be applied to many, same class can be applied to many element, right? So class and particular element you can do descendant. Okay, class ID, see, so these are the different selector, right? You can remember, correct? If you, at least if you remember all this much, right, it's okay for the beginner to start with styling. All right, so please go ahead and practice this. Remember, try to remember now, right? Because you went through the learning process already. Okay, now I'm just adding all this video for refresher class. Okay, what you have to do, the most of the thing, you just practice, practice, practice. All right, color now, right? Let's talk about the properties. First property we learned color. So you can give color to the element, any element, right? Basically color for the text, color for the border, text color and border color. So we talk about the text color and border color later. I mean, text color, you can see that simply inline, this will be inline style, you know that already, right? Inline style. So this style is the attribute. This is what attribute with the background color and the property. Background color is what property, and this is a value, correct? That's it. So just look at here, right? When you have an attribute, it must be attribute name equal sign, and whatever the value will go inside the quotation mark. But in the CSS, in case of CSS, again we have to use property and the value together, right? Property name colon value and then semicolon. You have to separate, because maybe you want to add more CSS inside here, right? So every CSS line of code will be separated with semicolon. Same thing you do here, right? This is the separated with semicolon. You have property text align center, color red. See, the exact same thing gonna, will be applied in our inline style also, correct? Okay, so let's keep moving, right? So these are just the inline style. Okay, so this color value. So what are the different way of applying color? The RGB value. This is the hex code, right? HSL. So HSL value, RGBA, and HSLA value, right? So just look at all this different way, but normally we use the hex code. We will gonna use this one also, RGBA, red, green, blue with alpha saturation, right? So this will, the 0 will be like a the opacity, right? Basically 0 will be completely dark, means 0 will be completely opaque, right? And the 1 2 3, as more it increase, right, it will be more like a hidden. Okay, so the lesser the value than 1, right, either will be 0, from 0 0 1 2 3 4 5. So the opacity will be less, means you can see through the, you can see the background, right, through the color. So we're gonna experiment this also in our code. All right, so background color, what is background now, right? So you can give a background to any element. Okay, any element means paragraph, heading, or a whole div tag, body tag. Any element you can give background color. Then you can apply background image also for any element. So when you have background image, right, you're going to use repeat, because the image, when the image is small, it will be repeat, right, horizontally and vertically. Okay, so there will be the property for that case situation, right, to not repeat, or repeat horizontally or only vertically, so repeat x, repeat y, whatever, right? So you're gonna get all that value. So now the background attachment also, right? So you want background to be attached, you want the background to be moving or fixed, so attached or scroll, all that. So you're gonna get the value. Just check this also, right? Attachment, background position. So background position should be so you have a whole screen, right? Where you want your background to be, in the center, starting from the center point, or left top corner, left bottom corner, right top corner, or bottom top, basically right bottom, right bottom corner. So all that background. So this is shorthand property for background. So you can add background color, image, or maybe image, then the repeat, attachment, position, all that in one line of code. Okay, so see here, background color is green for h1, div has background color light blue, paragraph has background color yellow. Okay, so what we will do, right, you just go to this, we will check in the exercise. Okay, so if you go back here, right, in the css, here you will get all the details about background. Okay, just click on the background color here, and that is the property you need to understand. Okay, you scroll down. So this is the first, in the body you want background color light blue. Fine. So the color must in the most often specified, most often you can use hex color or RGB color or RGBA, right? So just remember that, hex and RGB color. So h1d paragraph, right? Next, go background image. How you gonna apply image? Body background image property with the value. So you have URL and the link here. Okay, so this link can be anything, right? Maybe you say giving the direct link from web, or maybe the image from your project directory, right, within your project folder. Okay, you just find the right path for the image, and then that image will be applied as a background. Okay, so just look at all this, right? What I want to do now, okay, let's start with the our, what do you call that, our exercise. Okay, let's do quick exercise, right? And then we will come back here again, same way with the border, margin, padding, all that, right? But because this video I'm just want to make like a 30-minute, right? Less, this is just the introduction. In the next video, I will try to go through, like a practically, right, explain everything practically. Okay, mostly we will focus in structure of the page, and then learn about, also implement this property as well, right? Because just remember, you have to know color, background, border, margin, padding, height, width, box model. Okay, text and font icon. Okay, links, right? Let's keep it up to link and list up to here, and until the list. So please walk through all this, try to understand, not only understand, you practice, right, and remember all the property. Okay, so when it needed, right, you should be quickly apply, like you don't have to think, oh, how I can list style type none, or what happened to a tag, a link tag, right? How to, like add pseudo elements, or pseudo, like visited, or the, if you go to the link, right, there are some pseudo, link visited, however, all that, right? So you have to remember all that, if you need it. When you hover on the link, and what should be happen to the link, right? What kind of property, or the designs will be little bit adjusted, something like that, right? Just practice this. Okay, so uh, we are here, right? Okay, let's create the project. I'll just create a file here, right? Call it index, or if not, okay, let me create one folder. Okay, one.css, and inside here we're gonna have index.html. Yeah, this is, I fixed my mic, right? With the, I got the new mic, I just use that, I'm just using that one. I adjusted my OBS because yesterday whole day my computer was broken, right? And I cannot able to do anything, but finally I was able to fix it. I, like, update all my software, everything, reload window, everything, and now finally this morning all day I had no power. So, and I can only record in my desktop, right? If I can use the laptop, but my recording system is set up in my desktop, so I have to wait for the electricity to back. So finally here, and I'm working, I'm just starting something, I just want to start it, right? So hopefully this will be okay. All right, so let's go back and we can call it CSS. Let's call this class 1. Okay, so maybe this will be recording my keyboard sound also. And then I'm going to add I'll just add external style. Okay, so style.css, this is external style, right? How are you going to get external style? Just below this title we can call the link. It should be inside the head tag, right? So it is in the same folder, right? You can just do ./css. Now we got it. So we got the style, right? We learned about the color. I mean, basically how you gonna apply the CSS. So this is external way. Yeah, then you can apply internal also, right? So let's say you have a style tag, right? Style. Okay, that's it. So you just add it here, right? Let's say h1 and call it background color orange. This is the name selection element name, right? So h1, then heading 1. Okay, so if you go live view now, right click, live server. Yeah, I'm just starting first time now, so okay, look at here, right? Heading tag with background color, it's working, right? So that is internal, that is external. Okay, so if I have a paragraph, right, p tag, then I just go to the external, right, select my paragraph and give it okay, I'll just give a border. Okay, 2 pixels. You guys know how to use all that. That's why I'm using, because I have not, I until now I have not taught you, right, how to use all this in this video, but from my other class you know it already. So 2 pixels solid red, right? What happened? Something wrong. Paragraph border 2 pixel solid, something wrong here. SOLID. I need to save this one. Okay, so you see that paragraph, right, with the border. All right, so now that is internal, that is external, and inline, right? There is another way. So if I do h2 here, right, heading 2. Okay, so how you apply the inline class? Basically inline style, you just have to attribute, because whatever go in the opening tag here, right, that is called attribute. Just remember that it comes with attribute. You're not just gonna add something there. Okay, that is an attribute. So for styling, you have style attribute style, and then property, right? The properties will be anything. Let's give a color of the text, right? Color, and then see how it is coming back here. So color will be blue, right? Blue. Okay. I can even add another style, another property here. So that should be font size, right? And I can give it 20, maybe 36 pixel. So every style should be separated with semicolon. Now the attribute, when it is attribute, right, you must follow this pattern. Okay, style means basically attribute name and double quote or single quote, and the value will go inside. Value will go inside. Sorry guys, I don't know if I can pause. I think I get call. Okay, so let's continue, right? Sorry about the disturbance. So, okay, so style color blue, font size 36 pixel. I mean, you get the idea now, right? So that is inline style. So we have three different way to implement or apply the styling: external, internal, and inline. Okay, let's check our page. So that's it. All right. So we got this done now, right? We got this done. So next is what? Let's talk about attribute. I mean, attribute, right? Okay, attribute will be anything going in the opening tag, right? So if I want to apply, right, if I want to have a, let's say, h1 tag, new tag, okay, just imagine, right, with some text for heading. So the first attribute is what? ID, right? Because now we're looking at this, how you're going to select the element in different way, right? So first we talk about ID. So I can call this, let's call it heading 1, okay? ID, right? So how I gonna apply CSS? Just we using ID name, so hashtag heading 1, then same, that means you have selected only this particular heading, okay, not anything else. That's the only thing. And then you can give it just a border of 5 pixel, solid orange, and save this also, and check our site. Okay, now check back, right? Let's check our site. You see that is one way, right? With ID. The next is class, right? Same thing. If I change this to class, the only different is in ID hash, in the class you have to change back to dot, right? And then I will add one more style here. Let's call it font family, right? Georgia, something like that. Save it. Now let's check. I need to update my VS Code, right? All my settings are gone. Yes. So see, font even change here. So that is how you're gonna select with name of the element, ID, and class. Okay. So the next is multiple selection, right? Let's say h1, h2. You want to apply different style, means same style for many element, right? Then h1 comma h2 comma h3. So let's say you have a div, right? Div with class name of box. Let's call it box 1. You have a paragraph here, p tag, y, lorem, right? You have paragraph like that. Maybe you have another paragraph. Okay, leave it. And then you have another paragraph here also, right? With I don't know why I cannot type LOREM. Okay. So if I have to, I just want to apply style to this paragraph, right? So I can do box one. That is descendant, right? Means only inside here. So I can easily do dot box one and then call it p tag, right? So all the p from the box one. So I will say background color orange. I'll just add some padding, right, of 12 pixel. Just check now. See that? So it only selects the paragraph from inside. But here also you see this style, right? P tag, because it's coming from the top style. Okay, we have this p. Okay, so that's why you get that bottom one. If you change the font family here, right? Look at, so you can see the difference between, see that font family change here in these two, but here it will change also in this one, right? All will be changed because that particular font family is not applied in here. We have only applied like padding and border, right? Like a, oh, okay, sorry, background, oh, orange, yeah, I see, right? Because whatever is not match means, let's say there is a font family, you see the different, it will take all the p will get the same font, right? Because in this section in div or box 1p we have not applied font family, so it will inherit from this like a main paragraph, right? Main style. But also we add additional like background color and padding inside here, right? So if I go back here and apply my own style for this background color, font family, right? Then you can apply, it means you can upgrade, right, to let's say this one. And then also border, right? Let's say 5 pixel solid blue. Now it will be, I need to save. Okay, so save this. Okay, so the new style applied here. Okay guys, so I will keep it up to here, right? I will hopefully tonight I will do the recording of the rest of the CSS. Okay, so thank you very much. There are a lot of disturbance outside, right? I think my mic is, because it's external mic, I will be picking all that noisy, you see the crow on the background, all that. So just ignore that. The main goal here is, right, you guys have to go through this learning process. Means where is our GitHub? Okay, so maybe this one, right? I don't know which one is that here. Yeah, so just go through this, right? Just read through all this, okay, and try to understand, do the practice, look at the W3 School course. So next class, right, I will, we will go mostly with the properties and understand we'll finish one video tutorial will be one class will be for the properties, and the next we're going to move to the structure of the page and some design pattern, right? So just look at here, I try to read through this all. Okay, I just added the link for the W3 School, right? You can just click here and read that one, because I don't want to make it too long. I have added something like for CSS icons, you can use either Font Awesome or iron icons, right? So here is CDN link, and I will show you how to use all that. So okay, thank you very much. We stop the recording.